McGregor versus Dustin Poirier.
Yeah, well, that's set to be in the summer, which is in America, which is dated to be around June to September. I'm expecting June or July.
Yeah,
probably July. I think June or July, because around that time they start to build a lot of big name fights there. Yeah, it's so weird. It was really. I was talking about this the other day, and I felt it was really strange on Dustin Poirier's part, because Conor has everything to gain and Dustin has everything to lose, because he beat Conor simply because he was better. He was better on the night. He was the better fighter on the night. He was more conditioned. He had the more experience. He didn't have any ring rust, and he had the correct game plan and had a drastically massive difference in cage time compared to Conor in the last year or so.
Yeah.
Dustin has everything to lose. I would have expected, right, so Dustin fights Charles Oliveira, Conor fights someone else, wins, and then they make the Dustin Poirier versus Conor matchup. That makes sense. For Dustin to say, hey, I'm the uncrowned champ, but I want the belt, and then to go, I'll fight Conor. It's weird. It's so strange.
Well, again, money matchup, because Dana said that it definitely won't be for the belt. It's weird. The belt's still like hanging up there, with what's his name, with Khabib, because it's not official. He hasn't officially been vacated the belt yet.
But Habib said multiple times, I think it was a few days ago at least, in an interview, he said he's been quoted as saying, I don't want to hold up the division. Dustin Poirier deserves to be the UFC champion at lightweight.
Yeah.
I know you brought up the money, and it's interesting because I saw this.
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier made more money fighting Conor McGregor once this year than the accumulation of his purses for his last 3 fights. The McGregor effect is real when it comes to pay.
I like that, the McGregor effect.
The McGregor effect is real when it comes to the weight of those checks. And I know Poirier is spending a lot of money on his Good Fight Foundation. He's trying to build a gym for the less fortunate.
Yeah.
He's doing incredible charitable stuff, but he also needs to support himself and make money.
Yeah.
And I think...
Red panties night.
Yeah, and I think...
Break out the red panties.
Yeah, and I think if he's beat McGregor this year, I think he's even more confident that he can do it twice. He gets back, from the fight that they had in, how long ago? 2014.
Yeah,
2014 was the last time they've fought. He gets back for that. The trilogy has ended, and then he comes in with a huge amount of hype for the next, to fight for the belt against either Charles Oliveira, Justin Gaethje, or who else am I thinking of?
Chandler, or it could be,
I just felt it was weird. I understand the money.
Yeah.
I understand like all the hype around it and all the attention.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why Conor wouldn't be fed someone like Paul Felder, RDA, or maybe even a Nate Diaz.
I just don't feel like they want... Well, it's because I feel like if you flip this around and look at this from Conor McGregor's perspective, if he goes after a Paul Felder or Rafael dos Santos, I mean, everyone's going to start talking, Conor's taking easy fights. I feel like from his perspective, he holds himself to such a high standard. He doesn't want to go down and let people say that about him. He wants to take the toughest challenge, which I got to respect, because if you look at it from Conor McGregor's perspective, when he lost to Nate Diaz in the second round, was it second round? Yeah, second round. Again, lost to Poirier in the second round. He came back the next fight so much more different, so much more control, so much more calculated. And I feel like that's what's going on here. Now, here's how I think of it from Conor McGregor's perspective. Now, I've got to switch over to basketball, even though we're talking about MMA. Michael Jordan's perspective. Michael Jordan once said it. He said sometimes he would lose just so he could go, okay, now I got motivation. Now I got a reason, something to prove. And Conor McGregor, when he lost, well, now he feels like he's got something to prove. You know what I mean? So I feel like
he's got a fire under his ass.
Yeah. So now I feel like someone like McGregor, he does respond really well negative attention, and I do believe that this is what we're going to see is potentially the biggest trilogy ever. I feel like Poirier versus McGregor 3 will sell, will absolutely sell.
It could even beat Khabib's his fight with Khabib. It would make sense because they're now 1-1. A lot of people want to see Conor lose again.
Yeah.
A lot of people they all love Dustin Poirier. Dustin Poirier is a great person, a great role model as a fighter anyway. But that shit will sell really well.
Because I feel like Dana is determined to beat the Khabib versus Conor pay-per-view.
I think he is. And it's interesting that you bring that up because Conor actually got Dana to promise that he would make the Khabib rematch. And we even saw that in their, I think that was the main thing, and they never spoke about it, but the main reason why I think Dana was so upset that those DMs were released was that Dana was saying, look, brother, I will get you that rematch with Khabib. I made a promise. I will keep my promise.
Yeah.
And obviously is never going to happen, so perhaps that promise is morphed into something else. He says, look, I can't get you the Khabib rematch.
Okay.
But I can get you that Poirier rematch.
Because, let me say this. What if, I'm just saying hypothetically, what if this is looking so far down ahead in the future. Conor comes back, best on top of his fucking game, like doubles his game, beats Dustin. Khabib goes, sits there on his farm. Dana rocks up. And he like Khabib's living in some farm up in the mountains and tending to his goats. His bear's with him. He lives with his bear, which he had when he was 9 years old, and they're all staying together. And Dana comes up to him, and then he goes, "It's time." And then Khabib just chucks on his kapaka, and then he just goes back into training. And then you see Khabib versus Conor 2, double the pay-per-views. Greatest fight of all time.
That's looking so far down the line.
That was like a good 2 years into the future. But I just want to see. I just thought about that in my head. You know what I mean? Because Khabib's going full stoic now. He's going full monk mode. He wants to study more. He bought Eagle Fighting Champion. He's got Eagle Fighting.
No, Gorilla Fight. But he changed
now he's called Eagle Fighting Championships. And he's probably staying on his farm and where he will tend to the rest of his life. But you know what I mean?
Still training every day.
Still training.
Still trains every day.
Still trains.